Okay. So I will complete the introduction of economics, and I will focus on the economic problem related to opportunity cost. And for economic systems such as command economies or controlled economies, such as the one experienced in Soviet Union, or laissez-faire, which is a free market economy, or the third one, mixed system. Economic system will be discussed next week, but here, as a complete view of the introduction, we will complete it today. I need somebody who is volunteer to read this for me.
Can I?
What's your name?
فوزان ما حفظت صوتي؟
No. I need somebody else who didn't read till now.
Mister, can I read?
What's your name?
Amr.
Amr. Amr Qaidi.
Yes.
Okay, Amr Qaidi. The three basic questions.
Yes. The three basic questions. Every society has some system or process that transfers its scarce resources into useful goods and services. In doing so, it must decide what gets produced, how it is produced, and to whom it is distributed. The primary resources that must be,
Go ahead.
so the primary resources that must be allocated are land, labor, and capital.
Okay, so as you see, even we have scarce or limited resources, as a customer, as a producer, as the whole business sector, as a government, as the whole society, whatever you are analyzing, we have to find ways to use scarce resources to answer three questions. What should be produced? The combination of goods and services that are under demand. Goods are demanding by people. How to produce them? To whom it's distributed? Who will consume these goods? And while I'm explaining, I keep in my mind the free market enterprises. I guess free market enterprises economy or free enterprises economy, free market economy, or laissez-faire. Laissez-faire economies, laissez-faire means دعه يمر, دعه يعمل. Let him pass, let him work. This is a summary of free market economy. And the system in the United Arab Emirates mainly is free market economy. What's a free market economy? Means business sector is in charge of producing goods and services. It's not a duty of the government. The government is in charge of defense, justice, and security, and producing public services, which can not be under interest of a business unit. And also, before I go ahead, I need you to understand, not to memorize information. I need you to enjoy the discussion about economics. So economics will be part of your culture, of your analytical skills. There is one word behind the whole story, the price. So keep this word in your mind. The price reflects a desire of customers. Desires of customers. Why everybody is purchasing bread? Because the price per unit and the importance of bread. So the quantity purchased of bread is a huge amount. Why not everybody goes to five-star hotel and go to seafood restaurant and pay 200 dirhams for one meal? Because it is expensive. It's so expensive. I cannot afford going every day to such a restaurant. But so the price determines the quantity demanded. Okay. So the first question, what should be produced? So as a society, we have to decide to produce a combination of different goods and services to fulfill our needs by using scarce resources. So we will allocate resources. We will allocate some resources to produce bread. We will allocate land, labor, and capital to produce services by cinema, for example. How much should be allocated for each activity? And then how it is produced. I mean, let me give example. So we are willing to produce tomatoes. Should we use heavy technology, sophisticated technology, or use unskilled workers? So we have to answer such a question. Distribution of output. Who will consume goods? Who will consume tomatoes? For example, the society decided to produce 10 tons of tomatoes. Who will consume tomatoes? Is it for free for everybody? Can I take what I need of tomatoes, or there's limitation? Okay, let's apply the price. So if the price of per kilo of tomatoes is so high, Fawzan will produce more tomatoes. Other investors or competitors will enter into tomatoes market and produce more tomatoes because the price is high. And then as more supply of tomatoes, the price will drop down. So incentives, some investors will leave tomatoes market. So the price of the product determines how many units per single product will be produced. Now, how to produce it? Should Fawzan use heavy technology or unskilled workers? Depends on the relative prices of labor and capital. So in Egypt, labor is relatively cheaper than capital. In UAE, capital is relatively cheaper than labor. So we advise business units in UAE or in America to use capital intensive technology. But in Egypt, we advise producers to use labor intensive technology in general. How to produce it depends on the prices per product. So my salary is 10,000 dirhams. I cannot afford buying meals from five-star hotels. So it's cheaper for me. It's better for me to go to Carrefour and collect some basic food. So I can fill in my stomach with somehow cheaper. So the prices of output, the prices of inputs can help us to answer these questions. So goods will not distributed freely among people according to their needs. Goods will be distributed among people according to the prices of these goods, in addition to income received by each family. Okay, we have some words. You should be familiar with these words. So, Amr Qaidi, capital.
Yes, sir. Capital. Things that are produced and then used in the production of other goods and services.
Okay, so we produce machines. So some business units are specialized in producing machines. Machines produced for using them in other business units to produce goods and services. For example, Saeed Abdullah has a Pepsi Cola factory. He will purchase capital goods. He will purchase machines to use them to produce Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is output. Amr,
Yes, mister.
go
Factors of
ahead.
yes, factors of production or factors, the inputs into the process of production, another term of for resources.
Okay, so we say factors of production, inputs, or resources. All these terms are exchangeable. So to produce 1,000 cans of Coca-Cola, you need, Omar Abdul Aziz needs a combination of factors of production. What are factors of production? Simply and capital. So some workers and some machines, simply. Or you can put inputs in two groups, group of labor and another group of capital. Capital includes machines, buildings, furniture, soft and hard technologies. All these we can call them capital. Also cars, part of capital. Amr Qaidi.
Production, the process that transforms scarce resources into useful goods and services.
Okay, so what is a production? It is a process in which inputs transform or change into output. So for example, Fawzan uses land, labor, and capital to produce tomatoes. Tomatoes is output. Omar Abdul Aziz use building, machines, labor to produce Coca-Cola. So they use special technology, a special method of production to transform, to change these resources into output. So for me, I'd like to produce telecommunication services, but unfortunately, I don't have enough fund to purchase sophisticated technology. So I'm out of the game. Amr,
Yes, inputs or resources, anything provided by nature or previous generations that can be used directly or indirectly to satisfy human wants.
so again, see here, we say inputs, resources, factors of production, such as labor, land, and capital. Some of the resources are available by nature, such as oil, such as agricultural land, such as fresh water, if you have rivers. But some resources are built by previous generations. So Umar Abdul Aziz, Umar, assalamu alaikum.
السلام والرحمة دكتور.
So please allow me to use your name in the class.
For sure دكتور, yes.
Okay, well done. Okay. So Umar Abdul Aziz has a factory of Pepsi Cola. He got it as a heritage from his father. So his father spent his life to build this factory. Umar Abdul Aziz successfully added one machine last year. So see here, UAE society spent years to build roads, bridges, airports. So we use all these resources to produce output. So come back to Umar Abdul Aziz. Umar Abdul Aziz used some resources directly owned, controlled by him, such as some capital goods, some machines available in his factory. But he used some resources available in the whole society indirectly, such as roads, bridges, telecommunication services. So also he needs such resources. He cannot build a factory in desert. Amr?
Yes, sir. Outputs goods and services of value to households.
So output goods and services that form a value, fulfill a need to customers. So I use households instead of customers. So biscuits, can you just help me? Aisha, could you name a product, consuming product? So please help me to mention one name of a product. Toothpaste. What?
Perfume.
Perfume. Well done. So perfume is a good, whether this product is necessary or luxurious. So if the product is necessary, everybody buy it. If the product is luxurious, some rich people may buy it. But when you, hopefully in the end of microeconomics course, you can suggest a good idea about a new business, what you should do. I mean, which product you should be interested to set up a business. So for example, let me raise a question and maybe we can answer this question in the end of the semester. So Aisha thinks, Aisha Ali, try to advise Aisha Ali, who has a little money and wants to set up a business. Should she set up a business as a farm producing vegetable, open a supermarket, or a cafe, coffee shop, or a hotel, or telecommunication firm such as Ittisalat, or electricity firm producing electricity? So which field is better to Aisha? So at the moment, maybe you are confused where you should go, but hopefully, I will listen to you soon. Hopefully, by the end of this course, you will be able to go in the right direction. I know tomatoes is important, bread is important, supermarket, hotels, restaurant, coffee shops, everything is important. But which one you can gain good money? So you can focus on a specific area. So in the end of the semester, you will understand which area will be more profitable. Yes, Aisha?
لا اوكي تقدر تكمل دكتور.
Okay. I can listen to you if you like to add something. Okay, so now opportunity cost, we already explained opportunity cost. Let me, Aisha, could you read this for me? Aisha Ali? Aisha couldn't hear me. Umar Abdul Aziz?
Yes, doctor.
Could you read this for me?
Yes, doctor. Opportunity cost, the best alternative that we give up or forgo when we make a choice or discussion.
Decision. Okay, we already explained opportunity cost. تكلفة الفرصة البديلة. So Fozan got an offer in Carrefour. They promised him to give him 10,000 dirhams per month. Instead, he decided to set up a farm in Sharjah producing tomatoes. So when he make a list of costs for his farm in Sharjah, he has to add an opportunity cost of labor force for his services, because now he's serving his farm. He works in his farm, so he will not work for free. So what is the opportunity cost of his labor force? Equals to the best alternative. The best alternative as he work in Carrefour. So we record 10,000 dirhams. Assume Fozan has a pickup. If he rent the pickup to Umar, he can earn 2,000 dirhams. But he used the pickup to serve his farm. So he has to add an opportunity cost of resources owned by Fozan or by the producer, which is equal to 2,000 dirhams. From where I got 2,000 dirhams, this is the best alternative that Fozan gives up because he didn't rent the car to Omar Abdul Aziz. So that will give a good evaluation. Let me apply this concept. So we have Mira and Aisha. Listen to this question. Mira and Aisha. Both of, this is my question, Mira and Aisha run a hotel, each one runs a hotel in Dubai. Mira owns the building, while Aisha rents the building. When we make a list of costs according to accounting criteria, I mean we ignore opportunity cost, each one got 1,000 dirhams as a profit. So they both of them ignored the opportunity cost. Which one is a good manager? Mira, who owns the building, or Aisha, who rents the building?
Mira.
Mira is better.
Yeah, she's saving the cost.
So again, each one, Mira and Aisha, runs a hotel in Dubai. Mira owns the building, while Aisha rent a building to run the hotel. In the end of the year, each one got a profit of 1,000 dirhams. Definitely, they use accounting criteria. They ignore the opportunity cost. So according to this information, which one is a good manager relative to other? Mira or Aisha?
Mira.
Mira. What else?
But
Think
you said they both got 1,000, right?
Yes, yes.
So they are equal.
You said this is another option. They are equal. Somebody said Mira. What else?
I think Aisha who run the hotel.
What's your name? Fozan.
Yes.
Why Aisha is better?
Because Mira, she owns the building, so she get it like an asset. You know, it's just a rent, for example. But Asha, she work and she create things to get that much money.
You are close, Fozan. You are close. Do you know, to get a good answer, add the opportunity cost to the list of costs. So let's start with Mira. Mira has to estimate the rent. If she rent her building to somebody else, assume this guy will give her 2,000 dirhams. So Mira should add an opportunity cost of the building owned by her, which is equal to the best alternative as she rents the building to somebody else. So it is equal to 2,000. While Aisha has nothing to be added as opportunity cost because she record the rent as an explicit cost because already she rent the building from somebody else and she wrote the rent. So after adding the opportunity cost, the profit gained by Mira will be minus 1,000. Why? Because we added to the cost 2,000 dirhams as rent, as estimated rent. So Mira will get a profit of minus 1,000, while Aisha got purely 1,000 dirham as a profit. So Aisha is clearly a good manager and Mira is a poor manager. This is the benefit of using the opportunity cost. So let me go to somebody else. Aisha, do you hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Could you read unemployment?
Unemployment during economy downturn or
Recessions.
recession, industrial plant run at less than their total capital. When there is unemployment for labor and capital, we are not producing all that we can.
Okay, so in very simple way, what is unemployment? A portion of labor force that is unemployed. For example, in the UAE, we have 100 persons who are able to work, but we managed to employ only 90. So 10% will be unemployed. A wide definition of unemployment when some labor and capital are unemployed. So during recessions or downturn, what is the recession? A decline in the level of economic activity. So when coronavirus pandemic attacks UAE, we enter into shutdown, lockdown, restriction on movement, restriction on airlines. So that decreases the aggregate output. So some industries are injured or goes to bankruptcy. So the unemployment rate increases. And also some capital goods, we don't operate them up to full capacity. For example, Omar Abdul Aziz has a machine that can produce 100 cans of Pepsi Cola. Because there is no enough demand due to the recession, he operates the machine to 70%. So we can say 30% of our capital goods are unemployed. So you need to be familiar with these words, downturns or recession. a decline, a decrease in the level of economic activity, a decrease in aggregate output, which leads to an increase in unemployment. Inefficiency, عدم الكفاءة. Let me go to عبيد. محمد أحمد. حمد محمد. عمر عبد الله. سعيد عبد الله.
نعم دكتور.
سعيد عبد الله.
نعم دكتور.
Inefficiency. What's your name?
سعيد عبد الله.
سعيد عبد الله. Yes, inefficiency.
Waste and mismanagement are the result of a firm operating below its potential. Sometimes.
Okay. Saeed.
Yes, Doctor.
If Fauzan is a poor manager, he will produce tomatoes.
Yes.
Less than what it should be. So this piece of land, according to the catalog, he can produce 1,000 kilos per season. But because he is a poor manager, he produces less than 1,000. So Umar Abdul Aziz has a Pepsi Cola factories. He can produce 1,000 cans of Coca-Cola per day. But because of his poorness in managing the plant or the factory, he produces less than 1,000 cans of Pepsi Cola. Go ahead, Saeed. Sometimes.
Okay. Sometimes inefficiency results from mismanagement of the economy instead of mismanagement of individual private firms.
Okay, hopefully you understand this. Do you know, really it took me a long period of time to understand this statement. I faced this problem in my PhD thesis and I couldn't understand why till I got this information. See here. So Omar Abdul Aziz may produce less than 1,000 cans of Pepsi Cola. 1,000 cans of Pepsi Cola is determined according to the full capacity. If he runs the machines perfectly, he can produce 1,000. But we noticed he produced less than 1,000. Why? We have two reasons. The first one may be mismanagement of the plant. So maybe he is a poor manager. There is another reason, because of the mismanagement of the whole economy. So such as right now, when the UAE economy enters into recession, a decline in the level of economic activity due to coronavirus pandemic, the aggregate demand decreases. So there is no enough demand for whatever goods and services. So because there is no enough demand for goods and services, Umar Abdul Aziz will produce less than 1,000. He can produce close to 1,000, but because there is no enough demand. Think about Emirates airline. There is no good demand for flights because of restrictions on flight. We cannot go to some countries. So even technically, Emirates airline can run more flights, but there is no enough demand on its services. They produce less than what it should be. Okay, so let me go to, thank you, Saeed Abdullah. So in front of me, Hamad Abdullah, Ubaid, Muhammad Ahmed, Hamid Muhammad, Umar Abdullah. All of them are absent. Okay, let me go to Fawzan. The efficient mix of output.
To be efficient, an economy must produce what people want.
Okay, so again, what should be produced? We say our economy is efficient if we produce a combination of goods and services are demanding by people. So when we say demanding by people, people are ready to purchase them at their current prices. And the economy produces such goods and services at lower cost. So
Yeah.
we produce what desired by people, what people want at lower cost. So again, what is economic growth, Fawzan?
An increase in the total output of an economy. Growth occurs when a society acquires new resources or when it learns to produce more using existing resources.
Okay, so do you know, see here how I'm going to explain economic growth. I will add information. For this reason, I advise you to print out the slides and write notes, even keywords, so it will help you to remember my explanation. So what is economic growth? It is a percentage increase in aggregate output from one year to another year. For example, we produced last year 500 billion dirhams, and in this year 550 million dirhams or billion dirhams. So there is a percentage increase. We can calculate it. Why there is an increase in aggregate output, which is economic growth rate? We have four resources. When the economy add more labor units, because labor is one of the resources. When labor increases, and labor can be increased by an increase in population and graduates from universities and schools. Number two, when we add more capital units, when we add more machines, so we will be able to produce more units, more output. How we can add more capital units? By investment. What is investment? For example, Umar Abdul Aziz got an income of 10,000 dirhams. He will spend 8,000 and allocate 2,000 as saving, and the saving will finance investment. Investment is expenditure to add more capital units. But also, there are other two resources. When the society learns how to produce more units by using our existing resources. So number three, by improvement in the productivity of labor. So when the productivity of labor increases, each single guy can produce more. How we can increase the productivity? By education and training. So education and training helps employees to produce more. This is an increase in labor productivity. Number four, by technological progress. Technological progress helps us to design machines faster and more accurate. So when Umar Abdul Aziz install a new machine faster than the previous one, he can produce more. This is the productivity of capital. How we can increase the productivity of capital? By technological progress. How we can achieve technological progress? By research. So unfortunately, only big companies and the government can spend money to develop the technologies. But now we advise even small businesses to think about how to develop a production methods, because the production methods summarizes the technology. This is the last slide for today. There is nothing new in this slide. So, Mira.
نعم دكتور.
بارك الله فيكي. Could you read the story in front of you?
Sure. Recall the three basic questions facing all economic system. What gets produced? Number two, how is it produced? Three, who gets it?
Go ahead.
Given scarce resources, how do large, complex societies go about answering the three basic economic questions?
Okay, so think about United Arab Emirates society. Think about the whole country of the United States of America. Think about India, China. So what should be produced? What are the appropriate combination of goods and services? All these societies answered this question, and they are producing goods and services which are willing to be purchased by customers and satisfy or fulfill their needs. How is it produced? So for each single product, we adapt a special technology. Who gets it? How to distribute the products among customers? So there is a secret behind all these three questions, which is the price. So again, if the price of tomatoes is 100 dirhams per kilo, Fawzan will produce more. New investors and competitors will enter into tomatoes market and produce more tomatoes. So supply will increase, the price of tomatoes will decrease. So when the price of tomatoes decreases, Saeed Abdullah, who has another farm, will produce something else, rewarding to get, because there is an incentive for producers to get maximum profit. How is it produced? So each producer looking for cheap technology. Cheap technology. So assume we have two kinds of resources, land and capital. So think about the price of labor and the price of technology. The price of labor is called wages. The price of technology, let's say interest rate, if you get a loan to purchase a machine. So think about the prices of resources, which one is cheaper. But there is a technical matter. For example, if you like to clean Sharjah city, should we use machines, heavy machines, or heavy labor, or a combination with them, with the majority of machine or the majority of labor? First, we should select a cheaper technology. So the prices of resources guide us which technology is better. Who gets them? Who consume tomatoes? Depends on the price per kilo. Because if tomatoes is so expensive, the quantity demanded will be less. The quantity demanded will be less. There is no enough demand. If there is no enough demand, producer will not produce more tomatoes. They will produce a quantity that is under demand. So only rich people will consume it. For example, who consume expensive meals as seafood restaurants in five-star hotels? Only rich people. So this will not be popular restaurants for everybody. So only rich people can consume it. So the prices of goods and services, in addition to resources, can help us to answer these questions. And the prices are dynamic. They are not fixed. They can be changed over time.